Welcome to MBC News. I'm Dooza Dragonash, your anchor, and we have a wonderful team of testosterone tonight. We have Sigmund Learminster.
Good evening.
Mal Burns, writer.
Howdy all.
And editorial clarity.
Hello.
Don't they sound gorgeous? Anyway, talking of testosterone, the extradition case is being argued by the Swedish prosecutors for the extradition of Julian Assange. I've been pronouncing it with an African pronunciation of Assange, of WikiLeaks from Britain. And as to the power of the internet, look no further than the interview on the guardian.co.uk webpage with Wael Hanim, a Google executive who was arrested and held in jail in Egypt for his part in the demonstrations for a freer society, which continue. In a moving interview on Dream TV, Wael tells of his despair and grief at the deaths of demonstrators whilst he was in jail, and he rejects firmly the title of hero for himself.
The popular online publication, the Huffington Post, has been sold to AOL Inc. for $315 million US. Now, the Post founder, Arianna Huffington, will stay on as the president and editor-in-chief. Now, this represents a tremendous return on investment for Huffington and her original backers, who stumped up a meager $1 million less than 6 years ago. Now, this marks another step for AOL as it moves from being a simple internet access provider to an online media content supplier. It also owns the tech sites Engadget and TechCrunch and the popular travel site MapQuest. Overall, though, AOL continues to decline as it shifts from the media content business, but during the fourth quarter, its overall revenue fell 26% to $596 million. However, the acquisition of the Post will add some 20 million extra visitors each month to the AOL online stable, bringing with it the advertising dollars.
Yes, well. Now, Apple is facing some criticism from parents who are discovering that their little darlings are running up huge bills by downloading add-ons to their iPhone and iPad devices. It to sound a bit like Facebook. The parents of one 8-year-old received a demand for $1,400 American after she had redecorated her mushroom home while playing the iPhone-based Smurf Village. Another child managed to spend $150 on buckets of stars and snowflakes for her game Tap Zoo. The specific criticism is that Apple doesn't do enough to stop kids from using what are called in-app purchase games. Those where you can download free but then pay for additional items, rather similar to Second Life. Although these are typically password protected, some parents feel that it isn't enough. So, who's to blame? Apple? The application makers, or the parents themselves?
The parents. What the hell are they doing with the iPhones? Okay, a Lithuanian holiday company is in trouble after introducing some interesting hiring practices to its new resort in the Maldives. If you think I'm short of breath, it's because I'm apoplectic at having to read this. Apparently the plan was to staff the hotel entirely by blondes. And anyone not blonde would need to wear a wig. Blonde Lithuanian women are easy enough to find, apparently, but in the Maldives, locals tend to be dark-haired. Well, it would be. And under Maldivian law, a foreign company's staff must include a minimum of 50% local people. This means that NBC's Lisa Hermano is probably in the Maldives as we speak. But me, I have to go shopping for new hair.
Well, Rod Humble had a meeting this week with the press, and Mal Burns was present. So how did it go, Mal?
Well, yes, Sigmund, indeed. I was there as a member of the Second Life Press Club, and it was very interesting. Rod Humble, or Roderick Linden, as he's known in the world, introduced himself fairly briefly, mostly by asking a question from Pete Linden, and the event was structured rather interestingly because they then went round, all of us there, and we had to introduce ourselves to Rod and sort of explain a little bit about what we do and why we did it. And Rob Vick kindly sort of answered each of us in turn, you know, with anecdotal things. He's actually a fellow Brit, so there are at least 3 British people in the contingent there. So we managed to sidetrack him into talking about Worcestershire and the Greyhound pub and various things like this that he knew. But it was very informal, and it was really just a sort of get-to-know session. There were no big announcements, nothing like that. He just went away fairly rapidly at the end, saying, "Pleased to meet you." And, but it felt good, you know, it was, a nice introduction to him. The thing that actually surprised me is you normally expect any event involving Lindens or major Lindens, as I guess the expression goes, to be oversubscribed, whereas, I think there were 40 seats at this that had been carefully, sort of RSVP'd, and there were only about 16 people there in the end. So, go figure.
And now for these messages.
Do you want your own world? Do you want control over access? Do you want your brand on it? We can give that to you with Spot On 3D Web Worlds. Affordable and secure, make it your 3D web with custom, DIY, or ready-made content. Ideal for universities, nonprofits, entrepreneurs and enterprises, and even pioneering individuals pushing the metaverse forward. Create your vision with Spot On 3D Web Worlds.
At Micropets, we take product development very seriously. Spending years in the laboratory, toiling over the lens, developing the perfect habitat. Why? For this little fella and this little lady. Breedable piggies. With love. From Micropets.
And welcome back.
The British Broadcasting Company, affectionately known as the Beeb, is preparing its well-known player, iPlayer, for release on mobile applications. And for those frustrated US fans of the BBC programming, a subscription-based app is being prepared for other countries. So, welcome to ad-free programming. The BBC is strapped for cash right now after a devastating agreement to accepting a freezing of the license fee, and it's laying people off left, right and centre. So maybe this will help restore some fortunes.
And now over to Mal for TechSpot.
Well, thank you, Doozer. We're not great doing TechSpot this week, just a couple of items, but both of them actually of interest to people grid hopping and using the many other grids as well as Second Life. First off, midweek last week, Rezzable, who are not particularly active in Second Life these days, but they do run their own open sim regions and heritage grid, announced a new Unity-based browser viewer for OpenSim. And if you check out rezzable.com/blogs and look back over the past week, you will be able to find a summary of this. And on the summary page, there is an actual test of this that you can try out for yourself. It is not a Unity 3D world like the things the Reaction Grid do or whatever. It's actually a sort of viewer for open simulators that's built on the Unity platform. And the idea is you go in and you log into a particular grid, and you can view that grid on the web in a web widget, so to speak, using the Unity plugin. And Well, the reports are mixed. Some find it a bit slow with the download and everything through Unity. Other people seem to think it's fine. It basically works by loading a Unity 3D engine and then pulling up the package content from a given OpenSim region. And Rezzable are planning, if all goes well, to offer this as a service to people, and they'll probably be charging sort of $50 or so for a license, and then about $20 a month to actually host your sim in a browser version. So we'll see what happens there. Right, and I should just put that away, folks. And the other thing that has come up, quite literally, in the last couple of days, we found a skill advertisement that took us to Second Life Marketplace, which is http marketplace.secondlife.com/p/pack-radion, and radion is spelled RADIONE. /CA. Now, what this is a remarkable tool that you literally wear in World. This is the Second Life version. And it allows you to open up, channel 22. You just go /22 with something you want to say. And your chat is then broadcast right across grids. So the same thing I say in Second Life can be read by people in Reaction Grid, in Franco Grid, in Joycadia Grid, and in Worlds, I believe. There's a whole load of them. We actually brought Reaction Grid and Joycadia into the pack today, so to speak. If you go to Chilbo in Reaction Grid, for example, you can pick up a version there. This is the Reaction Grid version, and if you are into hypergridding and things like that, all you actually need is one version, not the Second Life version, obviously, but if you're actually wearing this device, you can hop over to all grids wherever you are, and you can talk back to people in other grids, including Second Life. So this is really the first communications device that fully connects Second Life to OpenSim and the other metaverses. So I actually was thinking about getting them on here, and maybe we will talk to them a bit later. Unfortunately, they are French, and I spent most of the day trying to communicate because my French isn't very good. But anyway, this is well worth looking up, and the device is called Radion. So search the marketplace, or if you want to look up the makers in World, they're on a place called Creek Island. That's CREEK Island, and their coordinates are 119 33 23. So back to you, Dizza.
Oh, right, okay. I just want to talk about, just here as we're talking about tech things, is that actually it reminded me that Battlestar Galactica have rescinded their former objection to the fan bases in Second Life being utilized as Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, they've actually reached an agreement with the role players and stuff like that, to actually allow, so long as it's clearly role play and not merchandising, they're basically allowed to continue. And something I thought was very interesting this week is there've been a lot of blogs since, not about that specifically, but about the takedown of the Architectural Museum, the Frank Lloyd Wright thing, saying,
yeah, that was ridiculous.
Since it's about time Frank Lloyd Wright estate learned from what Universal have done.
I think, personally, I think that actually and this is a personally held opinion, that actually they are being a bit short-sighted. However, and there are remarkable examples of this. I mean, I would draw their attention to a radio program that's been going on ad nauseum in Britain called The Archers, which is celebrating its 60th year of broadcasting this year, right? But The Archers has a massive fan base who all pretend that they're the characters in the program. Right? And they have discussions about these characters. There's actually a site called The Archers Anarchists, who do not believe that the Archers are played by actors, apparently have a hit list for those guys. So these things can run and run, and it really actually gives that particular thing. And look at the Doctor Who fan bases. You know, I mean,
I think The Archers is older than I am. I mean, that's how long it's been going. But yeah, I can see people get really kind of talk about immersion.
You know, it's really interesting because there's a point at which, you know, when you're a young company and you've got a product, you want everybody to talk about it and you love having the fans. And then people seem to then reach a point where once they become big and are making a lot of money, they want to go back to how it was and protect their copyrights. And you're thinking, you can't just do that. You know, once you've got a fan base that's as rabid as that, the real trick is to leverage it, not to stifle it. And, you know, you're cutting your nose off to spite your face to stop people doing that. But it is odd that that happens, that they go from wanting everybody to pretend to be the Archers or, you know, anything like that, and then they want you to stop doing it. It's daft.
You know, it's so funny because it's symptomatic of the new sort of media these days. I mean, marketing is viral. This is done through networks and hoodwinking social networks. You know, the old style of advertising is becoming more and more redundant, and it is, you know, the customer, the product, you know, the fan base that is the crucial thing to go viral and promote with. So, as Dizzy says, this is really sort of stabbing themselves in the back, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I just want to point out that the last 2 minutes has been purely our personal opinions and not the opinion of MBC News. And now over to Eddie Clarity for public service announcements.
Thank you. Alrighty, so entries are hotting up for the SL Arc to Acclaim the Fame competition. Only announced last week, there are so far 35 entries from young and new designers from the competition. Once the application time is closed, there will be a casting to find those designers ready to go forward to the competition proper. There is still time to apply. Just contact Sweetest Sands in World or go to the SL Arc Tour website. The third Machinima Challenge for the University of Western Australia is launched. The theme is Journeys, and submissions are open from now, February, until the 1st of May 2011. There are rules, and you should go to the UWA in Second Life for more information. By the way, the prizes took our breath away. Of course. Right. Alrighty. A warning has been issued that a horse thief is at work at the public auctions of horses, acting in the moment between winning and paying. So take care, residents of Second Life. Alrighty, and lastly, MBC News will be compiling competition news from now on, so if you want the world to know how yours is going, drop us your news on a note card to Deuce the Dragonash, and we will get it out there. Thank you.
Thank you. And of course that doesn't just appertain to Second Life, because we are trolling around other virtual worlds, even though we film in Second Life. So we're happy to hear about the competitions from other worlds. And as you know, whenever we've had them, we do broadcast them. So do tell us. Okay. And, you can still drop a note card on me via our website. What's our website called? Metaverse Television. MetaverseTV.com. Okay, less Lucasade. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program for today. And thankfully I can hear Robustus Hackstay in the background, but anyway. And it's grateful thanks to you for watching. It's grateful thanks to all of our team here tonight. Do you want to say goodbye, guys?
I'd just like to say that it's MetaverseTV.com. MetaverseTV.com.
Not today.
Good night.
Right. There'll be no vignette tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so don't hold on after the credits in the hope.
And a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right. We'll all be miserable as sin next week when we haven't got any. Eddie?
Not me, I've got one. Yeah, I've got plans next Valentine's Day. Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, you'll have to tell us all about it in the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and stay safe from NBC News. And if you don't get a Valentine's, we'll give you one.